Come on, 79 people. The heckling's gotta stop. In this episode though, I'm gonna tell you why the 4-cylinder is better than the V8. We're all driving 79s, and it's the V8 guys that hate the 4-cylinders. They won't even give us a wave anymore out the window. 2 minutes, here's another one. And that finger that we'd give each other whilst holding the steering wheel, that's now gone. And they're not even sure if the new shape's a 4-cylinder or a V8. Sure, I've got Auto 79 number plates, but there's no way that you're seeing that from a distance up the highway. Guys, it's not a Mahindra. It says Toyota Land Cruiser. Now I've had two V8 79s, a 2016 and a 2022. We're 40,000 Ks into this. This was one of the very first registered 4-cylinder autos in New South Wales. September 2023, there weren't that many 4-cylinder autos in New South Wales or in Australia at the time. I was very lucky to get my hands on it. So the tips I got out of Japan years ago that there were autos coming, I just assumed it was going to be the V6 auto that Shell's got in her 300. We even let one of our orders go through. We cancelled it, knowing full well that we were going to get ourselves an automatic. We had this thing well before 2024 even came around. And if you've been following, we scrambled to get it ready for that very first run. We tried fitting one of the older model snorkels. The guards are different. Couldn't get a bull bar at the time. We ended up pulling the snorkel apart and sikaflexing all the joins. We threw 3 motorbikes on the tray, hooked up a Jayco. We put the 285s from the old GXL wheels from the old car, which I had kept because I wasn't sure I would even like the 4-cylinder. So we had the V8 there on standby. We took it away. We crossed rivers over our bonnets. We towed the bands up some wet, steep stuff. Stock suspension, but I scrambled to get some polyairs under the back so it could take the weight of the 3 bikes and the Jayco's ball weight. Then we turned around and we came back out. We were happy enough then that I let the V8 go. Now tell me, did you really sell the V8? So not only on that initial drive did I feel how easy this was to drive and how much power it had from stock. So don't buy the first of any model they say. Now we're 14 months, 15 months in owning this, 40,000 Ks, trouble-free. Sure, I've broken a hub. As far as a vehicle, as far as a 4-wheel drive goes, it's been unstoppable. We did the Vic High Country in Tasmania. Still no bull bars available, still no snorkels, but we sorted the snorkel out. We knew we were watertight. So then I decided to fit one of our sponsors, Roadrunner, one of their winches, in a cradle between the chassis of the vehicle and keep the factory bumper bar. Now lucky we did, because in Tasmania with the van on the back, we had to winch ourselves out of a pickle. Now I'm 52 years old and I feel like I've done my apprenticeship in 4-wheel driving. My first car was a 2.2 LM46 Hilux.
Going good, going good.
My very first 70 series, 75 series in the 2H was slow. The old 4-litre, we turboed a couple, ended up getting a couple of 60s, chopping them into utes. Never really ventured past the 4-litre though. Never had a 1HZ, never had an 80 series. Our touring vehicles went from dual cab 60s straight to an N70. The birth of our first child, Amelia, we wanted something new, but you know, don't worry about the new bit. We pushed that vehicle. We winched that up Big Sandy with a van on the back. Then as soon as both our kids were old enough to face forward, our very first VDJ in 2016, the pre-DPF model. Now I've been towing a comp truck around for a long time with dual cab 60s, the N70, then the VDJ come along, the grey one. We put big numbers out of that motor. We had airboxes, we had tunes, we had chips, we had exhausts, we had stainless steel snorkels, yet my EGTs were what I drove to. Now I had to gear down to 4th gear to keep those EGT levels safe. Now even though that car would have kept going in 5th gear, pulling bullet truck up any hill, I was gearing down for the EGTs. We put 100,000 kilometres on that grey vehicle and then picked up the 2021 model, which I really did want a portal. It never really worked out for me, the portals, because Mark's 4-wheel drive always needed the car just that little bit longer than Toyota would let me keep it unregistered. A Sydney City Toyota right in the heart of the city. They're not as lenient as some of the country town Toyotas that'll let you keep your vehicle unregistered for 6-8 months. Sydney City sees it as, you ordered the car, I need my money. Now while it's unregistered, you cannot pay for it. So that's where I got caught up a few times. But the white one, we kept stock. We travelled all the way up to Cairns towing the Jayco. I pulled bullet truck everywhere, but it was an absolute dog. 3rd gear was its favourite gear up any big hill. And as this vehicle sits here right now, they're 35-inch tyres and I've had them on quite a while. Yet I've spent not 1 cent on that motor. So that's my main reason right now in saying that this here at 40,000 Ks in, the very first of a new batch, 35s on a stock motor, holding speed, pulling 3.2 tonne. Amazing. Amazing, right? Didn't have to do a clutch after 1,000 Ks, didn't have to do a tune for the 35s. So that, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, off the shelf, this motor. Off the shelf. I've done nothing to that motor. We've done Tasmania, we've done Vic High Country, we've done the Simpson Desert. We've done so many weekends away towing the 3.2 tonne. We've just come back from Fraser Island, we've done Moreton Island. The diff gears are a lot lower than the V8, so off-road, this thing is a weapon. Yes, we've had issues with the brakes because it's being auto and basically the same brake setup as the older model, which are pretty useless anyway. The J-Max came to the party and he helped us out. We fitted up a booster and it is a lot better. There's still room for improvement on it. Terrain Tamer came to the party and we've got the 700 kilo constants. We worked out after 2 or 3 goes that a 2-inch V8 coil will give 3-inch lift. And since the bar and winch have gone on, thanks to ARB, we've come back down to a 2-inch lift. The car sits level, drives beautifully. The fortified shocks from Terrain Tamer, that's been a game changer for us. The car is so comfortable, rides so awesome. Latest mod has been the ARB side step and brush bar combo after we pretty much totaled the factory steps. So we've got a lot more bracing to winch off now if need be. You V8 guys, I want you guys all to subscribe to get notification, because in about episode 3 of this current series, we have a race on the beach. And yes, it's against the tuned V8. I'd like to thank Roadrunner Off-Road. They've been sponsors of Team Bullet Off-Road for a long time now. They supplied us with these alloys, and again, we're track correct now thanks to them with the zeros and the neg 50s. And they sourced us the 8.5 inch wide, not the 9. We've got the Kumos, who have been a sponsor of Team Bullet Off-Road now for a couple of years also. The AT52's on here in a 35, 12.5. Another big test we did with this vehicle is the prior 2 V8s couldn't get up this muddy hill, and this did on all terrains. So I feel that the 4-cylinder should get a little bit more respect. The diff gears have helped a lot. Toyota worked out that they need better gearing, but at the same time, this is a September 23 build. I've had this long enough to know I haven't broken it for starters. I've put 40,000 Ks on it. Reduction gears, which has always been on the top of my list with my V8s. it doesn't even get a spot on the list. The reason for that is the auto and the diff gears. So that 4,000k trip we did, Fraser Island, Moreton, that series is coming up. Please subscribe. You'll get notification of all our new shows coming up. But I think we went into low range once or twice, and that's when we had a snatch strap hooked to the back of the car, trying to pull somebody out. Again, the aluminium tray I chose from Toyota. It's been faultless as well. We get the 3 motorbikes on the back and we tie them to the headboard. The Simpson Desert, well, we didn't tow. This thing was as honest as they come and didn't miss a beat. That's even before I had the pre-filter. So I feel that these new 1GDs, the filter system, the fuel filter system, is a lot more superior to the paper cartridge that was in the plastic housing. So you can go back through our gallery of videos and see any one of those trips. We've got Tassie, the high country, we've got the Simpson Desert, we've got weekends away with the caravan, we've got that first huge test we put on the 79 when it was new, and that video got a lot of hits. The reason it got so many hits was there was pretty much no 2.8s in the country at the time. Future mods, well, there are none. Why change something that's that good? Terrain tamer through Don Kyatt. We'll be getting a safari snorkel, so I won't have to worry about my Sikaflex coming apart on the joins, which we did the very first week we had it. And the exhaust is now starting to show signs of surface rust, and I'd like to get rid of the factory flanges or the joins and go back to a bolt-up style join on the exhaust. So we'll be getting a 3-inch exhaust from the DPF back on that. We've got a trip coming up to Cape York, so we were lucky on the Simpson Desert run that we didn't have a lot of rain. We might build up some kind of a tube frame and put a canvas canopy on the back. That could be a goer because it looks like we're going to be doing the Cape in swags. Now, it's not just my 2 cents worth, having owned this for the time I've owned it. It's over 30 years of experience saying that if you're in the market for an off-road weapon and you want an auto, don't worry about the motor size. This thing will do the job, and it'll do it well. I've said in previous videos, if you've got a 3.2 or 3.5 ton van and you want to do a lap around Australia, that it may not be the perfect vehicle for that. So when we tow our 3-odd ton around, we're not towing it around Australia. But if you've got a van like ours, the Jayco, it'll do it. What we do have to do is work out what oil we're going to now go to. 40,000 Ks in, not using a drop. The oil catch can's doing its job, even though there were a lot of critics saying that you won't get anything or it'll overwork. Western Filters, they came over, they gave us the bracket. We're running the catch can and the pre-filter combination. It's amazing, it hasn't let us down. They know what they're doing. If you're looking for filters, you're in Sydney. If you're anywhere in Australia, they'll work it out, send it to you. So Penrite oils throughout the running gear of this vehicle. So fuel consumption, I've been recording figures for almost 10 years. The V8s, this one, different size tyres. So the 4-cylinder is a couple litres per 100 better than any of the V8s we had, but it holds speed. So you're not gearing down and slowing up, lagging behind. Couple of litres better off with all those benefits. Yeah, we've been around a long time, Team Bullet has, from the Team Silver Bullet back to Team Bullet now. We were sick of painting cars silver. But the off-road scene has changed a little bit for us as we're getting older. We've got the kids, we're touring. So please, like the channel, subscribe, ring the bell. We want it to grow. We want to do a lot more touring. We've got a Cape York trip coming up. Yes, we're still going to be doing the hardcore rock climbing. And we've got that 24-hour event coming up at TJ's. I had another tip not long ago that Shell's V6 and 10-speed will be coming out in the Hilux. But also heard there's a chance it's going into a 70 Ute. So I might have one more car left in me. I'm not sure what's going to happen in a couple of years' time when Amelia won't fit in the back seat. I don't know if I'm going to have her tailgating me in her Jimny, but we do need to look at avenues of what to do in the future. There's a GRS sitting out the front of the house, but Shell's not going to want to chop that up. And we need a dual cab ute for the gear that we carry. So I'll sign out here with the best 70 series ever made behind me. And as always, thanks for watching.